Yo, I hope that those clips never see the light of day.
I hope they do.
But anyway, how we doing?
Doing really good. How are you doing, Cobb? QC?
I'm doing good today. Had a good day. Day went by fast. I took a nap.
Hey.
Yeah, I took a
I
nap.
had to take one too today.
Wow. People have the ability to take naps.
We're excited about
Drew,
naps.
I don't never take no naps.
I had my first weekend off in a very long time.
He might watch. He might not.
Are we listening? I just said something substantial.
I'm sorry. Speak your piece, Queen.
I said, because I was asked how I'm doing.
You were.
And I said, in addition to having a nap, I said that I had my first weekend off in a very, very long time last weekend.
I mean,
I can,
whatever you feel like sharing.
Yeah, I mean, I had a event with my friends. We have this friend thing that we do called Ritual Reunion. We did that. That was fun. And Sunday, I just
invited.
I mean,
we weren't a part of the
and we're not
ritual.
The ritual thing.
I mean, I haven't known y'all my whole life, but I will. I will know y'all my whole life.
That's nice.
Or at least the rest of it.
The rest of it. And then on Sunday, I just relaxed.
Hey,
so that felt good.
That's cool.
That felt good. How about y'all?
I was doing good. At the time of this recording, I went to go see Black Panther in the Philadelphia Orchestra at the Kimmel Center.
Hey,
that was I didn't know what to expect, but when you sit down and like the actual movie starts and then an orchestra plays like the Marvel beginning theme, it hits different that I was not expecting. I was like, okay, this is
Chef Kiss.
Like, yeah, no, it was like the sliding trombones that were there. Yeah, they were doing the damn thing. And I'm glad they did the first movie and not the second movie, just because of the feels. Like it was wild. It was still like a really good thing, and also, it made me think about rewatchability. And Black Panther actually has that. I remember when it first came out. Afterwards, I was thinking like, it was like an okay movie, but like it has good rewatchability. Like, I think I gave it a mid score because it wasn't fantastic. It wasn't like one of the better ones. But I would not want that to discredit how good it actually is and like the rewatchability of it. So that was pretty dope.
Yeah, I've always kind of gave it two different scores, one for the culture and then one for like where Disney. It ranks as far as MCU quality.
I think it's higher, not to hate or whatever, but I think it's higher middle ground.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like still good.
Yeah.
Good pizza, right? Like Little Caesars. Good pizza.
I think that was disrespectful.
We were in a place and then we weren't.
But Dan, how are you doing? Pizza.
I was okay, right? I did something different for myself this weekend.
Ooh.
I was asked to be in. I did take a nap today.
I know that's hard for dads.
Harder.
That's like a boss battle.
It is. Because sometimes you're just laying there and you're still hearing like the echoes of cries in the hallway.
That aren't even there.
Yeah. No, like
Phantom
I don't know how you know that, but it's very true. Like, they went for a walk because it was nicer weather today, and so I'm just like, all right, it's time to drift. I'm still hearing, Dad, that's mine. No, and I was like, they're here, but they were outside. It was crazy. But I finally took a nap. It was a nice hour, and this past weekend I actually was asked to be an MC for a memorial.
Oh,
right. So it's kind of like
the roller coaster.
But they picked me because they were like, we want somebody high energy, keep it upbeat.
I want the same for mine.
Same.
Like a party.
That's an episode.
Like it don't need to be a funeral where like I'm like present, the casket is there and
posted up.
Yeah. And that's not needed.
Yeah.
But I would
Like
not be upset.
You don't want to be there in sunglasses.
Yeah.
That's where that astral projection comes in handy.
There it is.
I want to be able to be that fly on the wall that says, I ain't even like you. That's not my favorite song at all.
But it was interesting because I had to like channel a different part of me that I don't normally like have to access, which is being conscious of the jokes that I tell. Like they really wanted me to bring levity, but at the same time be appropriate, right? Like this is still a memorial service. So I made what I think were better, more widespread audience jokes rather than like something very pointed or slightly offensive or just downright inappropriate.
Did you know the person?
I did, which also helped. Because there was moments where it's a memorial service, so people still got to cry, people still got to get out the emotions.
Yes.
So, my biggest responsibility was just keeping everybody on time. Start at 2, everybody got to go by 4. You ain't got to go home, but you can't stay here. So I felt like I accomplished that. I was told by other people that were there that like I did a good job.
Did you have a tight 15?
Not a tight 15, more of like tight 5s. Like every time I got up, it was a tight 5. And I didn't do my default like self-deprecating jokes. I did like 2, right? But it wasn't like the normal 10. So I'm healing. I'm getting better.
He should have gotten the healing regeneration talisman. But instead, he's like, I'm gonna be immortal.
Oh, man. That's good. I'm glad.
But, people actually like ask for my info afterwards, and like I was like, I don't know if I want to do this like on a regular basis.
Be a memorial MC.
No, like memorial MC, but like they were just like, do you MC for other stuff? And I was like,
hell yeah.
I was like, we can see.
Oh, that's awesome. That's really cool.
I was more open to it afterwards, because before I was just like, I'm doing this because I was asked by a very specific person who I don't feel like I owe, but like because of all they've done for me, and out of respect, I was like, sure.
And now people are like, hey man, this guy has
they were
skill.
like, this is kind of like a gift. I didn't know you were talented like this. And I was like,
did you?
Kind of. I've always kind of had like a performative thing about me, which is why we have a podcast.
Yes.
But
very nice.
I'm glad that people laugh because there's only like 3 comments in there, so I'm assuming
that's a message. Comment, even if it's just LOL, even if you don't know what it's addressed to.
Validate my existence
or laugh at it, but comment.
But anyway,
so today's episode is going to be a lot of fun.
How many of y'all like food? I like food, even though I don't look like it.
What does that mean? What are you trying to say?
You know what it means.
So today we're gonna have ourselves a little fun. We're gonna have ourselves a little bracket.
We're not gonna do this today.
It's gonna be a soul food tag team battle.
All right, talk to us.
Bracket. So we've already picked our soul food teams. You get 2 items with a modifier. We each picked 3 teams of 2, and so one gets a bye. And then we're just gonna go off of that, and what we're gonna do is I'm gonna read off the matches, and then we're gonna vote who wins that, and then we're gonna keep going until we get a winner.
Okay.
All right.
And the winner will be 1 team of 2.
Right.
Will that be the okay?
So
can you tell the folks that are listening that don't know what is soul food? What is it? What is soul food? Rap, what is soul food?
Why are you asking me this? Is it because you have an answer?
No, I think that it's it's a question for me, and it's a question that I'm projecting on the audience. Is like, what defines what is food that has soul? Like, why can't I say
feel that it is?
Trail mix?
Do you feel that trail mix is soul food? Is that what you're gonna say on the recorded line?
No, I mean
the ancestors are listening. I just want you to know.
Perhaps it depends on what I had to eat that day. You ever like have something to eat after like not eating? It could be a cookie, it could be a cracker, and it's just like, oh my god,
so good. I wouldn't call it soul food though.
In that moment, it is.
Nope.
I feel like soul food is like something that you eat and you like can connect with others. Like I can't connect with someone over a salad. No offense to salad. I know salads can be like very elaborate, but I feel like food for the soul, like really like food that's not good for your health, is great for building community.
I don't know if it's always like unhealthy though.
It doesn't have to be.
I do know it's seasoned.
seasoned. I mean,
soul food is seasoned.
all food is seasoned.
No. Mm-mm.
All
Soul food is seasoned.
All food has some sort of seasoning
Like
in it.
most soul food doesn't require a cookbook.
That's a good. Okay, I
I'll
like
say
that.
soul food most times is like a recipe passed down.
It's from the collective conscious.
Exactly. And then, while you're pouring that salt into the bowl, some grandmother
Says that's enough. That's enough. I was just about to say that. I was just about to say that.
Not everybody's qualified to make soul food.
That is correct, including maybe at least one person sitting here today. Person is me.
Probably, I'm gonna throw my hat in the ring. I'm probably not qualified. I'm qualified to eat it.
I was just about to say that. Stop stealing my answers. Is this some astral projection that you're doing right now?
Could be.
Sure.
But typically speaking, and maybe even stereotypically speaking, soul food is food made by African Americans from the South. Because, well, history. So you can Google that on your own. As
I would say Google that.
As also Google.
That's not this episode. We're talking about food.
High on the hog.
Oppressed people's food, basically. Because Asian people, Cambodian people definitely have their soul food.
That's true, but I don't think theirs gets labeled as soul food. I think theirs just gets labeled as traditional.
I think the reason why ours might get labeled as soul food is more because it's Black American or Black America.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not even, like, you don't call African food soul food.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Like, and you
like
really don't even call it African food. Like, you'll call it like what it is.
What it is.
Nigerian or
Nigerian.
Yeah. I think it really comes down to language, but ultimately most cultures, especially oppressed cultures, kind of have their own like food for the soul,
Fair.
but we call it soul food.
But in America, so when you say soul food, you're not expecting traditional Chinese.
You're not talking about Dallas Ambrosia.
That's true.
What?
So, first round.
Sorry, it triggered me and it took me to a place that I don't want to go again.
You're good.
That's the point of this podcast, is to take us in places we don't want to go.
Yeah.
So, first round, we have
You don't put coconut in salad.
turkey with barbecue sauce and collard greens versus sweet potatoes and baked mac and cheese.
One more time. What's that first meat that you said?
Turkey with barbecue sauce and collard greens and sweet potatoes and baked mac and cheese.
So the first team is barbecue sauce turkey, or turkey with barbecue sauce and collard greens versus sweet potato and baked mac and cheese.
Yeah.
Y'all already know the answers.
Yeah. There's no winning.
I mean, first of all,
I have to say, I've never really liked collard greens, but sweet potatoes just by themselves, like if it was sweet potato pie.
You ain't really had sweet potatoes like that?
I've had yams, but I have not had sweet potatoes.
I mean,
and
they're
apparently
normally
those are two
prepared the
different
same
things.
way.
they're prepared the same.
And most likely you didn't have yams. Most likely you had sweet potatoes. Most yams aren't local to the U.S.
I did not know that.
High on the hog. Did you do that?
Well, I mean, I think like turkey with barbecue sauce. It actually sounds quite tasty, but I've never had turkey with barbecue sauce.
Mm-hmm.
Turkey is a very interesting food because, at least speaking as a Black American, turkey is only served maybe a few times a year, if that. And now in 2023, we're getting into a culture where people out here buying steak for Thanksgiving, whole roasts for Thanksgiving, not even using turkey. So
but you know what?
Barbecue sauce as a sauce for turkey, I don't really see that, though. I would love to try it, but you can't tell me that anything involving turkey can beat macaroni and cheese and sweet potatoes. I'm sorry.
I agree.
I'm sorry. Maybe that wasn't fair to whoever was that picked that, to put it up against sweet potatoes and macaroni and cheese. That's too OP. That's too OP. Macaroni and cheese and sweet potatoes, that's too OP.
See, but I partnered it with the collard greens. If we're going to put it out there, right? Like
That's true.
You get the collard greens.
I partnered it with the collard greens for flavor.
Maybe it would have been fair if we picked like a meat and like a side, because to pick two sides like that, it's like maybe that was too OP.
Yeah, it's very Goku of you to be like.
Of me.
Walk into
So
a
it was me.
you walk into a room, and it's versus like two preferable tasty sides versus a meat that is normally like, who did this?
Not many people bang with turkey.
Nah,
You would have been better off saying turkey bacon. And then I would have maybe been on your
no,
side.
turkey bacon's not bacon, so we're gonna move on.
Listen.
We saw that episode.
Listen.
The winning
Listen.
team. We're not going to linger on it.
Yeah.
Like, what are y'all thoughts on that though?
What?
I think we agree on
We
it.
agreed.
Y'all
with the
agree?
sweet potatoes and the
Oh,
bacon.
you agree?
Yeah.
Okay. 'Cause
I
you was
mean,
over here
even
like,
if I didn't, it would have been 2-1. So like, it didn't matter.
So move
this
on.
is democracy, right?
It's not like we're steak alchemists or anything like that.
What are you talking about?
Gotta let this go.
Sweet potatoes and macaroni and cheese. Baked macaroni and cheese.
That was the winner. So next to ground, we have fried chicken with yellow rice with turkey gravy versus baked mac and cheese and ribs.
Baked mac and cheese and ribs. That mac and cheese is really like,
OP.
it's the Michael Jordan of soul food.
I think it's the ribs that do it. Like the mac and cheese was like, oh yeah, that's good, but like then you like, oh, but I get some ribs with it too.
Yeah, like, that's the sucker punch.
Like I'm like,
I'm gonna have to. I will kindly disagree. As much as I love me some macaroni and cheese, I'm gonna just say I'm gonna take that chicken and rice. Because at least with the chicken I'm getting meat, right? Like ribs, like I'm not a big rib fan, right?
And had the right,
and maybe I didn't, and maybe this comes down to maybe not having the right rib. But I'm poor, and I come from a poor family.
Hey,
and
Barfly,
so
buy our shirt so we can get cups and ribs.
But I'm not like a big rib fan. I don't think that they have like. I mean, I don't think that they have the. I like white meat. Like food wise, I like white meat.
Oh no.
But
that just hit me.
Ribs are just like, yo, like why do I have to fight so much to get to the damn meat? Like,
no, see, that's what
I would prefer the fried chicken.
The wrong ribs. If you gotta fight for it like that,
I mean, ribs.
Nah, you don't need it.
The first rib I had was at Chili's.
Here's the thing.
No,
I said the first.
Oh no. So here's the thing. Fried chicken, yellow rice with turkey gravy. I pick that. I would totally go for that.
The turkey gravy is a bit out of place. The turkey gravy is a bit like, why the turkey gravy?
What? What do you mean?
Because no, I also feel like if the chicken was lit, then we don't really need gravy. If food is like truly good as it is, then you probably don't need
the rice is in the gravy.
I mean, yellow rice doesn't really need gravy.
But like, why not?
If food,
it doesn't need it, but that doesn't mean it can't be enhanced.
I think that if food is good, then it doesn't necessarily need all these toppings, personally. But, okay, with turkey gravy, I think the turkey gravy is a bit strange. But, hey, why not? Right? Like you said, why not?
Either way, fried chicken and a yellow rice, I would have been all about.
Yeah.
But then if the choice was like ribs with mac and cheese, I'm like,
We talking about any kind of fried chicken? Like we talking about chicken wings, right?
Yeah, no, any kind of chicken, any kind of fried chicken.
Wherever you land on it.
Wherever you, flats, wings, whatever you got. But like,
okay.
I think
the ribs though.
So y'all, it's the ribs for y'all.
It's the ribs for me.
So ribs beat chicken. All right.
Ribs beat chicken.
Can't wait to the apocalypse.
That was weird.
Ain't
What
gonna
do you
be
mean by that?
Because y'all over here like, we're gonna remember this day when we ain't nothing but chicken left. I'll be like, well, find you some ribs then. Find you some cows.
What do
Where
you
they
mean?
What we
literally said that fried chicken is great, but if there are ribs, we're gonna pick that.
I'm gonna be like, find your damn ribs then.
Wow. Why? This is that trolling thing that we were talking about.
When were we talking about that? We just got here.
We were
really want
recording.
to work on you sometime.
My bad, y'all. So the ribs win.
The
way you like just took us out of it, like you taking away chicken from us for what purpose? Because we picked ribs? You're saying we're not allowed anymore to indulge in chicken?
I just have a one up on you if it ever comes to that.
Sure.
Yep.
The next battle, we got fried catfish and mashed potatoes versus barbecue ribs and buttered biscuits.
Barbecue ribs and buttered biscuits?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Ribs already one-on-ones on the other side. Right?
I'm gonna go ribs and biscuits.
Are these beef ribs or pork ribs? Are there pork ribs?
They're
there's
ribs.
There's pork ribs. There's beef ribs. Technically,
I ain't never heard no chicken ribs.
Chicken breast would be considered.
Really?
I'm not doing this.
I'm doing ribs and biscuits.
That's such a weird combo. That's such a weird combo. Isn't ribs more like a summer food? Is ribs a summer food?
Most pork is often considered a summer food.
Oh, really?
I don't care.
But I've had ribs year round if it's available.
Over catfish?
Normally they go on sale during the summer.
I see.
I'm not a huge fish person though, so that's where you lost me.
See,
it was catfish and what? Taters?
Mashed potatoes.
It's the mashed potatoes. Like I feel like that's kind of basic for me.
Ooh,
but
disrespectful.
Hold on. But butter biscuits are also like no better. Like if I could have mashed potatoes, if I get buttery mashed potatoes, right? Like the creamiest mashed potatoes, and then I also get buttered biscuits. You know,
becomes to what their teammate is.
We going with the taters.
And the teammate buttered biscuits with ribs. You could dip it in the sauce.
I hear you. I also love fried catfish.
Yes, we all do.
I love ribs, but I also love fried catfish. I'm torn. Tiebreaker. I don't know how we're going to do a tiebreaker for this one.
I'm BBQ ribs. What are you?
I'm catfish.
You're the catfish.
The biscuits.
Then the catfish one.
Well, no, he said he was torn, so he has to make a decision.
We got to figure something out.
Do we need to present you with some fried catfish?
No, not right now.
Some ribs.
It's late.
I don't know where we're gonna get ribs from.
Right.
Because I can just give you the fish right here, but the ribs you gotta go through all that.
You got fried catfish.
Apparently, catfish are in the Schuylkill. I can get you one right now.
All right.
Also, catfish are like really gross fish, also right? Like bottom feeders. And
thank you for ruining that.
But it's like you taste so good.
Hey.
Oh.
Right. Is it this one?
Yeah.
No.
No, it's not that one.
It's not that one, but sure.
No, it is.
You should have did the dolphin. You should have did the dolphin.
Wow.
Catfish are wild. Like they're
like nasty things, but they taste really good.
Because I don't know.
I don't know why they taste so good.
Because of all the nasty things they eat.
You think so?
Probably.
Then again, shrimp be bussin'. And I don't know what they eat.
Not bussin'.
They look like they look like monsters.
They eat everything that no one else will.
So we're doing barbecue ribs and biscuits.
Yes.
That's Z winner. All right. Next round. We got fried turkey and cheddar bay biscuits versus fried chicken and marshmallow sweet potato pie.
What was the first one again?
Fried turkey and cheddar bay biscuits versus fried chicken and marshmallow sweet potato pie. This is actually a pretty hard one.
It's a tough one. And the only reason why is because fried turkey, if done wrong, is the worst. It's like the seventh hell.
I heard it can actually. I heard fried turkey done wrong can kill you.
Yes.
Can't fried turkey like blow up your house or something like that?
Putting it in
don't you have to make it outside?
Yeah. Like a deep fried
it's a whole
turkey
process.
On top of like the salmonella if it's not cooked, if the oil's too hot, it doesn't cook the internal.
I've never had sweet potato pie with marshmallows though.
I haven't either. Not pie.
Yeah, not the pie. It seems interesting. I'm sure it's like
super hot fire.
Very delicious.
I feel like it would be sweet enough where
I'm sure it'd be dumb sweet. You get that sweet and savory.
But then it's just chicken, right? It's like
but it's fried chicken.
Yeah, I know it's fried chicken, but it's like there's no.
Here defending
but because it was with rice, right? But like you just got like a plate of chicken, then it's like food. Dinner's done. Time for some sweet potato pie. That's a bit of a jump, right?
Anybody that knows the saying, after you have something salty, you go, I'm gonna need a little sweet.
That's not true.
Almost everybody's auntie and grandma after having a
I don't think the
meal
ancestors are saying that. The ancestors are saying like, yo, we don't. Ancestors not necessarily. You can go to the store and get you some damn chips. You don't need no sweet potato pie.
False.
Listen,
I think. Go ahead.
The other option was say the other option again.
Fried turkey.
Fried turkey.
And cheddar bay biscuits.
Cheddar bay biscuits slap. They are standalone. OP.
Now you may need like a bottle of water or something with you because I know fried turkey done well is not as dry, but turkey be dry, right? But I think like fried turkey, not many people get access to that. That takes a certain level of skill to even do it. Commitment, right? That's truly soul food because you are putting everything into like not blowing your house up.
I would argue that it's not as necessarily soul food because the people who achieve fried turkey, deep fried turkey the most are not soulful.
Well, fried turkey is kind of like emerging, right? Because remember,
I
like
chose a safe word.
the world of like turkey in the oven is like we're slowly getting into this point where it's like turkey is boring. Like there's no need to like bake a turkey. Like people out here making steak for Thanksgiving.
Thought it was exciting. Right?
Were those pilgrims of the soul?
No.
I'm saying like baked turkey is no longer like it used to always be like that's kind of what you have to do, but now people are just like, yo, like I can just make a steak, I could just make like duck, I could just make something else. So why not just put the turkey in some oil?
I also think though that is a sign of like the times in general of like not being conformed to tradition.
Yeah.
But that's not this episode. This episode
is about who win.
I'm picking fried chicken and marshmallow sweet potato pie. That intrigues me. I'm intrigued.
That's sweet and savory, man.
I'd be like, where's the side? So you're just gonna have a plate of turkey? Now, would it be like a plate of the chicken that you eat first and then you eat the dessert? Oh, or is it like you eating it together? Even though
really? I was thinking about it them being on the same
same plate.
They could be on the same plate.
They could be on the same plate.
You ain't never dipped just fried chicken in.
Please do not talk about dipping nothing. I don't want to have that conversation. I don't want to talk about nothing being mixed with nothing. Okay,
your food don't touch.
Now, the only thing I will tolerate is sweet potatoes and macaroni and cheese. I will tolerate that, but I'm not like mixing them together intentionally if one touches the other. But I'm typically like food should be segregated. Yeah, I said the word. But I'm saying, but yes, okay. So you pick. You're picking the chicken.
Yeah.
All right, I lose. Yeah. I say that fried turkey.
Sure, I get it.
It was a strong contender.
The cheddar baked biscuits.
It was a strong contender.
Strong left hook. However,
all I do is lose.
All right. Next, we have sweet potatoes and baked mac and cheese versus baked mac and cheese and ribs.
I'd rather be a vegetarian and just go with the two sides.
Sweet potatoes and mac and cheese?
I'd go with that over the ribs. I'm not a rib person. And again, maybe it's because I haven't had the best, but I'd much rather have.
This is a trauma response more than.
It's not a trauma response.
I'm sorry. I'm still gonna have to go with the mac and cheese and ribs.
Oh my god.
Sweet potatoes.
Oh my god.
Like so.
One is a complete meal. So it's like I can understand you got your meat and you got a really banging side. That's safe, right? But me, look at me. Look at me. Do I look like I eat ribs? I mean, you could probably see them. My ribs. But
what does that mean though? Like
I don't really have a lot of weight on me, man.
No, but like you keep saying like I don't look like what do I look like? This is I want to know what comparatively what does that look like that I pick ribs?
It doesn't reflect.
Is it visible?
Sounds like
you see it.
Someone's feeling a bit insecure and projecting, but
no, I'm not projecting.
I didn't say look at.
You kept saying like I don't look like a rib.
I didn't say look at Big Dan. I just said look at me. Do I look like I would pick ribs? If anything, I maybe need to pick ribs, but.
So baked mac and cheese and ribs won. We're gonna move on to the.
Wait, so what entree, if we want to call it that, wins? The ribs.
We haven't wrapped it up yet, but
no, I'm talking about in this rotation.
Mac and cheese.
Okay.
All right. I believe we're in like the quarterfinals now. All right, here we go. Or semifinals, whatever. Barbecue ribs and buttered biscuits versus fried chicken and marshmallow sweet potato pie. Barbecue
good rib. And not to
biscuits.
quote Chris Rock, but how much for one rib?
Thank you.
Like my man was willing to pay 50 cents for one rib. Like ribs be that good if they're done well.
50 cents?
Remember that ribs are bones, y'all.
I'm gonna get you, sucker.
I haven't seen that in years. Ribs are bones, y'all. Just let y'all know.
Ribs are what?
Aren't ribs like technically bones? Like you just want the meat around the bone, so be real.
Yo, this is that trolling that we keep talking about. Like,
we know what ribs are. We can feel our ribs. That doesn't feel like meat.
So, are you picking fried chicken? Is that what you're saying?
I'm gonna pick, even though that's a weird combo, like fried chicken and then like some sweet potato pie. I think that's a bit strange. I'm still against it, but I will pick that over ribs because at least it's meat. At least I'm getting like a nice dosage of protein and other things, whatever else it is. With ribs, it's just like I'm just getting bone, man. I got enough of bone.
This feels so much like a trauma response.
Didn't help me.
What are you picking?
I'm conflicted, but I guess ribs.
No, you don't guess. Y'all like team ribs over here.
Funny thing is,
I like ribs, but I also like fried chicken. But I feel like I can get fried. If I had to pick, like I can get fried chicken. It's more accessible to get fried chicken than ribs sometimes.
But you have ribs.
But as of right now, as an option, if I have ribs that I rarely have,
you would
like,
pick that
them on special occasions.
I gotcha. So you're thinking about like accessibility or like the amount of times you'll have access to that. Exactly. That makes sense. That's a good thing to consider. How often do people have ribs? Right?
I was literally about to pick fried chicken and marshmallows, and then you were like, the way that you're saying it is like the best ribs and the best buttered biscuits versus the best fried chicken and the best marshmallow sweet potato pie.
Chickens is like the MCU. Fried chicken is like the MCU. You won't get an okay chicken.
But think about the best fried chicken that you ever had.
Like Winter Soldier, you may get that every once in a while.
We had fried. I'm sure all of us had fried chicken before. Where it's like this ain't even that banging.
Right, like you've had mid fried chicken.
Yes.
But I'm thinking about the best.
Right, but even the best fried chicken is that's the ceiling, right? Like it's fried chicken.
I see.
Beyond that,
ribs are like another
ribs is smothered. They've been smoked for 30 hours.
A lot more effort put into ribs, I imagine.
Dry rubbed.
Because it ain't much, so you gotta do the best you can.
You gotta stop.
I love the energy, the hating energy, but
yeah, like there was some uncle back there listening to like Charlie Wilson. Well, he ain't got no socks on, the sandals. He got socks on with the sandals, and he just
making ribs.
It's wonderful.
Dang.
So you pick the ribs.
Yes.
What do you pick?
I do pick the ribs.
Pick the ribs. The ribs win. We about to end up with ribs versus ribs? Is that what this is about to turn into?
Might be. And at the end of the day.
So here's so barbecue ribs and buttered biscuits, they are in the finals.
Got you. We see them the next time we see them against finals.
This is it's to win it all.
Got you.
Now, fried pork chops and bacon mashed potatoes versus baked mac and cheese and ribs.
Said double homicide. I like that.
I mean, we didn't indicate like whether it's beef ribs or pork ribs.
I'm talking about the fried pork chops.
Yeah, but you said double pork.
Double pork.
Bacon mashed potatoes.
The bacon. I mean, it could have been turkey bacon.
It couldn't.
It's not, because that's not real bacon.
Beef bacon.
I'm gonna go fried pork chops and bacon mashed potatoes.
And who was the opponent again?
Baked mac and cheese and ribs.
I think we
already got ribs in the final.
I mean, hey, y'all have at it. It just matters. This one matters. As much as I'm not a big fan of pork chops. The pork chops are fried, right?
Mm-hmm.
As much as I'm not a big fan of pork chops, I think I would go with the pork chops. Pork chops and macaroni and cheese.
Fried pork chops and bacon mashed potatoes.
Oh yes, definitely. I would go with the double pork.
I'm gonna go with the pork chops on this.
Double pork. Double of the pork.
Only because
what about you?
Only because the mashed potatoes seem special, right? Like this time
those
around,
mashed potatoes.
Somebody
bacon
put their
mashed
foot in
potatoes.
That's very
They cared to chop it
Once
up.
again, you're thinking about the best fried pork chops and the best mashed potatoes with bacon in it.
Now, these mashed potatoes also have like garlic or cheese in it, because usually people don't just put
the best mashed potatoes.
But does it have something in it besides the pork?
It's the best mashed potatoes for you.
Okay.
Whatever that means.
All right, I'm gonna go with the mashed potatoes.
Okay. You figured.
we all, that was a consensus. That's the only one that was like a sweep.
Yeah. So, final round. Fried pork chops, bacon mashed potatoes versus barbecue ribs, buttered biscuits. I'm going fried pork chops.
See that. But the best ribs.
But the best fried pork chop with mashed potatoes.
You turn that bone and you just disengage the lock.
I'm gonna let y'all two talk, because I actually am against both of them. So I'm gonna let y'all two like do this out.
I'm going fried pork chops.
I hear you.
You can cut it up, throw it in the mashed potatoes.
But you could also cut up after you debone your ribs, right? Because fried pork chops has that layer, that ring of fat.
Yeah.
That I just be like,
no, yeah.
you don't know when you going. You don't know when you hitting it.
It's
right?
just
like
surprising.
You bite and then
it's like then you can't. And pork chops are definitely like, which one is it?
I don't care.
Sure.
Some people just eat the fat. Some people like that stuff.
To me, sometimes pork chops is like just a step above ham.
Oh.
That was slightly disrespectful.
That's disrespectful to people that love ham.
I hear what you're saying.
Honey ham almost made it.
Oof.
Glad you didn't.
That would
Actually, I think it was in the list.
Instant L.
It was in the list.
Sure.
I also don't think it's fair.
The Dallas Cowboys on the bracket.
I also don't think it's fair that pork chops really didn't have to go against a lot of people, but like ribs had to like go through the process.
Ribs fought,
and pork chops just was like, all right, I'm here in the semifinals.
Next time
you talk about grands.
Next time,
them layers, buttery.
I feel like ribs kind of earns it just by beating like all of my favorites, pretty much. Yeah, that's not self-centered of me, but like ribs beat a lot, and like pork chops just came in the semifinals.
Next time we'll actually send in the information when I ask people to send in the information.
We'll randomize it because I feel like Josh may have been sabotaging.
I feel like I feel like this is a peek behind the veil that we don't need. I feel like if we're picking what's the two finals, right? Comparatively, the best biscuits I've ever had, the best ribs I've ever had, wins out based on my memory of the best pork chop I've ever had, because to me, pork chops still don't be hidden.
What's the ceiling for pork chops? Like, is there really like a culture of, because I know ribs and barbecue, anything like there's a culture with that. Like there's a culture of barbecue.
That's right.
But with pork chops, I don't know so much if there's like a culture of like pork chops.
Sure there is.
Is there?
I mean, like smothered,
But the ceiling for that culture versus the ceiling of barbecue
I'm
is
not
very
going to sit here and say like, oh, I know the culture of pork chop. I don't, but I know pork chop is good, and that does not mean that there is not a culture of pork chop.
There probably is not a culture of pork. Isn't pork chop like not a very like...
That's a very closed-minded thing to say.
I mean, but pork chops are not a very...
When's the last time you had pork chop?
Pork chops aren't like the prime cut of a pig.
Right. It's not as... for lack of a better,
but people love chitlins.
Yeah, but there's not really a culture of chitlins, right?
No,
there are some people who
down south.
like
there's people who would shut us out based on they won't listen to this podcast because we just shut it out.
I mean, that's just like some weird like.
You guys stop.
But like we know barbecue.
You hear yourself,
but
right?
we know. I mean, I'll talk to I'll argue anybody like chitlins. It's fine. Okay. But I'm saying like, but barbecue. Are we talking about barbecue ribs?
Yes.
The world of barbecue, it is its own world. It is like lore. It's like Skyrim.
The lore is deep.
It's or like Dungeons and Dragons, something like that. But like pork chops, I feel like is like it's just like a nice like one-shot story. 21 episodes, and that's
fine
it.
If you feel that way.
The ceiling of pork chops is not the same as the ceiling for barbecue.
Not every anime is for everybody,
right.
But
and that's okay.
Good. I understand, but as much as I'm not a fan of ribs. I'm not a ribs fan, but I know that like when I was growing up, I thought that like apparently the best ribs are the only ribs from Chili's, but apparently even mere mention of that may get me slapped in the face when people out here like own restaurants where they sell ribs for like 2 hours, and within 2 hours it's like they're gone and that's all they making for the day. There's like a culture of like barbecue.
There is a culture around it, and I think culturally for me, like you had to be a certain age to get ribs at like block parties and family events.
Really?
Yeah.
The kids don't touch the ribs.
Get ribs. No. Like unless your daddy was the one making it, you ain't getting ribs.
And even then, you might not get the ribs.
One rib. And I think it's like, to me, it set it up on a standard that I'm like,
it's giving me gatekeeping of ribs.
It's also more like it's a special occasion when you get ribs, right? Like I waited until I was almost 16, 17 to get ribs because go to family functions, you still sit at the kids' table.
And pork chops, meanwhile, you get that on a Tuesday night.
Meanwhile, pork chops is out here being slung around like
that's not slung around.
That's the one you get. That's the one where you're the last one at the dinner table eating it. Like it's like I don't want to eat these no more.
Pork chops was still kind of a special Friday night type thing sometimes, but not enough for me to be like
to pick it over ribs. There's like a level of exclusivity.
For me to lose my mind over it, like, oh my goodness, I'm getting ready to have pork chops. It's more of like pork chops tonight.
Basically, pork chops are lower middle class.
That's
You
what
gotta
that's what you're saying.
That's what he's saying without saying it. Because apparently the kids couldn't have it.
Right.
The kids couldn't have it as if like the kids are like
lower
less
middle
than,
class,
or like
not lower.
But I'm saying, but apparently, like, if kids can't have the ribs, then are kids not valuable? Kids are not valuable enough for the ribs. So you picking the ribs over the kids.
The ribs had a certain level of work put into them, right? Marinated, 48 hours over.
And somehow children are not worthy of that food.
They would not appreciate the work put into it, is what I'm saying.
But the kid is hungry.
Hot dogs be on the grill.
Or them damn pork chops in the kitchen, in the refrigerator.
You got it.
Like, heat up them pork chops.
So you're ribs.
And also, like, pork chops be fried, right? And, like, fried food is not, as...
So are you picking ribs?
I'm abstaining. I told you that y'all can duke it out. Well, then again, that would make a...
Come on, bro.
All right, fine. I'm gonna have to go with the ribs because if I was given the option...
Pork chops for the last
No, but I'm saying, like, pork chops, I picked pork chops over ribs the last one because I think I'd rather eat pork chops. But if we talking about the best ribs, I may not have many opportunities to eat the best ribs. So I'm gonna go with that thing that I don't have many opportunities to eat over this thing that I could just eat on a Wednesday night.
That's fair.
If
That's
I don't like
democracy.
If I don't like it, I have more to complain about.
The winner is barbecue ribs with buttered biscuits. Now, barflies, tell us, please, in the comments down below, how you feel about how this went.
Somebody's gonna say, "Where's the salad?"
Right? Who should have been entered? Who should have not been entered?
There's somebody missing, definitely.
Oh, I'm sure there's a ton of people. We can do this again. Like,
sure,
we can do this
next time. They can pick it for us.
Ooh.
If y'all really feel like we should do a second episode of this, because this was like our March Madness kind of episode.
Yeah.
Right? Where's the asparagus?
You gotta
never.
Where's the kale?
Never.
I don't look like I eat some of the things that were being listed.
Same.
So,
but no, I think this was fun. I think this was a fun little
intro. Next time we'll have one just for seafood. Then we'll have one for the vegans. We may need a guess for that, though.
All right. Well, quest item. I'm calling it the backpack of the industrial smoker.
Ooh.
What?
Like an industrial smoker backpack.
Explain, please.
So you would take any meats that you've gathered upon your quest that need to be cooked, obviously, because they either have poisons or venoms or whatever. Put them in the smoker. Perfect meat.
It's like the egg, but like portable in your backpack.
And you're asking us, the question is what meats?
No, that's not a question. It's just an item that you get.
Sorry. Yeah. I'm thinking about it. I got to use a quest item. This is one of those ones you never use.
But it's like, it's got like that own quantum vortex thing, so it doesn't take up a lot of back space.
So you can just sit in the middle of a quest. Encumbered. There's, I see. There's like just a boss sitting there fighting you. You're just going to cook on the spit like in Monster Hunter, where it's just like, I'm just cook the steak real quick.
Roll it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
It's called a spit. That's what it would be called in the quest world.
I called it industrial smoker. All right. Anything else?
No, as we always like to say here.
You have a blessed night.